Right, y'all, welcome back to Combat Arms channel. Okay, so today we're checking out something that we've kind of seen in a few videos and commented on pretty extensively, and that is the Black Hornet drone. So this is by Teledyne FLIR. So today we're checking out a couple of videos from the Teledyne FLIR YouTube channel, which I didn't even know existed until one of y'all sent it my way. But they do have a couple of like cool promo videos. They do have an introduction video, but I'm going to bypass that one and check out these other two. So these are titled the Assault Mission and the Recon Mission. And I like the Black Hornet so much, I got this RC version of it. The funny thing is, this is actually a lot bigger than the real Black Hornet and significantly louder. Like if the real Black Hornet was even in the room, you honestly wouldn't hear it that much. It is extremely quiet. And again, it's probably like half the size of this thing, to be honest. I mean, I'm trying to give you guys a little 360, but this thing needs to get like calibrated a little better, so spinning it is kind of risky. But yeah, you can kind of see it there. Yeah, the real Black Hornet is much quieter, and again, just much smaller. What did I just hit? Sorry I had to watch that. But yeah, the real Black Hornet is really like half the size. And I'll put a clip of me kind of training with it right over here so you guys can kind of see the difference in size with just this thing right here. And it was so small, we had 3 in like a little kind of a carrier you can just have on your plate carrier. And there was just 3, you would just attach one in, it would charge. I think it took like 20 minutes to charge. Had about 20 minutes of flight time. Or maybe it was 40 minutes, but basically you can send one out while the other 2 are charging. And then once that one comes back, you can throw it on the charger and then, you know, keep using the other 2. So pretty cool idea. It was implemented pretty well. And I know some units do have the Black Hornet. And yeah, we used it for a few things. Instead of sending a small team to do a recon, we just sent out the Black Hornet and did a recon of the objectives of the compounds to get a last kind of good understanding of how everything was laid out and how everything was looking, what the enemy position looked like, what the resistance would look like. And then we brought that sucker back. And even with like the, you know, the woods and stuff, and even just kind of looking on the screen, we were able to control it easily, didn't get it lost, which was great. And yeah, it worked pretty freaking well. So the first one we're going to check out is the Recon Mission. And I imagine it's probably going to look kind of similar to how we were using it over in 10th Mountain. Oh, and real quick before we get into the video, if you guys are trying to get some cool MO5 combat gear, Varusteleka is hooking it up with the coupon codes. So I will have the codes over here and a link to Varusteleka's site and the coupon code down in the video description if you guys want to get some cool combat gear, vest, belts, pouches, all that good stuff. Check them out, especially for the dope snow MO5. Like, it's hard to beat that aesthetic. Okay. Yep. Definitely keeping people out of harm's way, while also being a nice tool for reconnaissance. Okay. Little pouch there, okay. Yep, so flip down screen. Yep, kind of had the same thing. We also have like a little sunshade for it. Okay, and it looks like they just have the one. Okay, word. This is kind of cool. Okay, these guys look a little high speed. Not your traditional army unit. Okay, does it have? Okay, so it's got 2 in there. Nice. Yeah, again, those things are so freaking small. They are extremely expensive. I think it's like 40 grand per drone. But it's got thermals. You can point the camera at something and get a 10-digit grid. It was awesome. About 4-kilometer range from what I remember. And that was a little iffy, depending on the wind and stuff too. Yeah, man, it's so quiet. And it just, again, it looks like really cool. So you can see they're really not that far. This is a little closer than I'd feel comfortable. Yep, so screen, yep. Looks about right. It had some kind of weird stabilization. How'd they get... Did they get like another drone to record this drone in the air? Yep, so there's the thermals. You had a few different thermal views from what I remember as well. That's cool. It's following their movement. That's actually a pretty cool use. I mean, we did take that thing and put it like through the buildings as well. Again, like they call it the, you know, Hornet, and I know I keep talking about how quiet it was, but man, it was impressive. Again, like look at that. Like that's pretty decent clarity for what you need it to be, especially in such a small system. And the thermal capability is a game changer. For me, just being able to pull a grid on it too is awesome. Yep, so there's that stabilization we're kind of seeing there. The little antenna that kind of hangs down. Looks like the antenna got longer from when I used it. I'm liking the kind of vibe of this video. Kind of like spooky, but again, it's really kind of pointing to how quiet the thing is. And that's it. Again, like it seems like such a simple thing, but as opposed to taking this formation and going up and providing overwatch, or going up and doing a recon of the objective, you can just send out this little drone and it's just awesome. Okay, so this next one is the assault mission. So we're probably going to see how this thing is supporting the direct action, either with the leader's recon or providing that overwatch, getting reconnaissance and intelligence, kind of real time. But again, like that was, I mean, that was like a 3-minute video, the last one, and it went pretty quick. I do like how they kind of, I guess, directed these videos. Alright, 06. Well, a good time for, not the best time for thermals actually, especially when the sun's coming up. Everything kind of washes out, but a lot better than having to go up yourself and look through with night vision. That looks like a cool area just to train in. Yep. So larger areas, especially larger urban areas, compounds. Super easy to maneuver it. It had pretty good stability, unless it was like really windy. But even still, like it just made the camera a little bit shaky. It was still pretty easy to control it. Nice rifle. Is that a famous actor? It looks like that. I don't know, it looks like one. I don't really know actors too well, though, if I'm being honest. Damn, these guys rolling up in some freaking Toyotas. Okay, yeah, they're pretty high speed. Jeez. Now the Black Hornet is just completely out of it. They're just trying to show these guys doing some badass operator stuff. Nice. And again, it's something else to consider with thermals is, you know, if it's like super foggy, super smoky, the thermals will still cut through all of that. And if you're inside, it'll do the same. Again, keeping people out of harm's way, giving you a little bit more edge. It was a little stressful, like controlling this thing. It was a lot easier to control than that thing I just showed you in the intro. But even still, of course, you don't want to be smacking a $40,000 drone around. But it was durable. I mean, we didn't break any of ours in the time we used them. That's cool, just snatching it out of the air. Dude, that's awesome. And again, like, they're going a little bit slower, but again, they know exactly where the bad guys are right now. Even if they do see it, I mean, they can try shooting at it, I guess, but it doesn't matter at this point. You kind of understand the layout. Gives you much more edge than just kind of going into things blind. What was that? It had a light? Huh, I don't remember that one. This should have just fragged him, honestly. I mean, we can tell there was no hostages, but yeah, I mean, they went loud anyway. Yeah, screw it, right? All right. Yeah, these again. I like this video because it also makes it pretty believable. Like, these guys clearly know what they're doing. It's not just like a bunch of paid actors that are kind of just doing whatever for the shot. Nice. Makes it that much more believable when they're kind of using it in this kind of situation, because they are doing it pretty seamlessly, and that's kind of what they're talking about here. Yeah. I want to watch this again. These just like, oh, huh. I mean, it was so unnecessary. Honestly, the drone was already watching them. They knew the dude wasn't looking at them, but I mean, hey, it's never a bad time when you get to bang somebody, right? All right, so I like these videos because, again, they're not making it look like this freaking super futuristic capability where they're kind of just using this drone and not even sending anybody into the fight, and they're just dropping bombs and stuff. I mean, theoretically, again, you kind of could call for fire off of this thing, because again, you just point it at something and you can get the 10-digit grid, which is, yeah, it's an awesome capability. But yeah, they're showing it during the recon. They're showing it kind of providing that overwatch, that guardian angel support for these guys while they're moving. Just be able to kind of give that situational awareness to the guys on the ground, especially as they're moving, for something that's super small, like basically impossible to hear because the ambient noise just washes it out anyway. You have this kind of over them, watching their movement, so it's giving kind of real-time tracking. If anybody does come out or there is something, it can provide that update to them right in the ground. Things that you can't necessarily see, especially if, you know, there is vegetation or you are kind of, you know, surrounded by compounds. You can't necessarily see what's one compound, two compounds over. And then it showed the assault mission. And again, if I didn't have the experience with the Black Hornet, I might think, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of, it would pull me out of the fight. I wouldn't necessarily want to be using this thing in CQB. But again, it increases your survivability dramatically. I mean, whereas, you know, you're kind of just throwing a flashbang, because if you hope that if there is somebody there, you hope that the flashbang kind of does the job to stun them enough so you can kind of get that edge and, you know, pie into the room or make entry into the room and then engage them. But this thing, again, it allows you to see the entire layout without putting people in harm's way. You can take this thing, you can really do a recon of kind of like 2 rooms over, 3 rooms over. You can go to the next floor with this thing. Again, it gives way more situational awareness you can't really get unless you have sort of these drone systems like this. And we've seen like the throw bots kind of use, the ones that go on the ground. But again, you have obstacles on the ground that could impede that. You have furniture, you have stairs even, and it's kind of hard to be able to kind of operate on different levels. This thing, again, you don't even need to take it inside the building to see what's going on inside the rooms. You can just have it outside the building, kind of just scanning as well. And it just provides a lot of situational awareness to paint that picture, whether it be people or even just furniture. Yeah, if I was stupid rich and had the hookup, I would definitely have a Black Hornet. I mean, not to be like creepy or anything, but of course that would be like the first thing that comes up is me trying to defend that. Yeah, just having that for videos and stuff would be so freaking cool. And again, that thermal capability. It's not like the best picture quality in general, but again, it works great. You can push it out pretty freaking far, and just having like a thermal in such a smaller than this, again, it's such a small package. It was mind-blowing. I'm like, oh, there's no way this thing has thermals. I mean, to think, the thermals that we always use were the past 13s, like these massive, very heavy, super battery draining optics that we kind of have to lug around. There are a bunch of other smaller thermal options and stuff out there now. But again, like, seeing that in such a small package kind of blew my mind. Anyway, yeah, I can kind of talk all day about how much I love the Black Hornets. If you guys have experience with the Black Hornet, let me know down in the comments section how you used it, if there was any gripes you had with it, or you know, what were you kind of surprised with? And again, with me, it was kind of just the capabilities to have that, all that stuff in such a small package, and it be durable and it be reliable. And again, it's super quiet, so it's kind of scary to be thinking about these things kind of floating around, coming from the enemy. Like, you wouldn't even know that you're being spotted, especially with those thermals. But yeah, if you guys have experience, let me know. If you guys don't have experience with it, let me know what you think about it and how you think it might be useful in certain situations. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed checking these videos out. If you guys have anything else to recommend like this, especially stuff with the Black Hornets, I'm always down to check it out because, yeah, it's super, super cool. But that is it for this video. I will see y'all in the next one.